first date can feel exciting and nerve-wracking at the same time. You want to make a good impression, keep the conversation flowing, and leave her wanting to see you again. But the real key isn't just looking confident or saying the right things. It's about creating a space where she feels comfortable, safe, and genuinely curious about you. In this video, we'll break down practical ways to make her feel at ease, spark her interest naturally, and build a connection that goes beyond small talk. By the end, you'll understand the subtle moves and mindset that turn an ordinary first date into a memorable experience. The moment she walks in, the energy in the room changes. Your first task isn't to impress, it's to make her feel safe. Comfort is invisible, but she notices it instantly. A place where she can laugh, share, and be herself without hesitation. Start by choosing the right setting. Loud clubs or busy restaurants might seem fun, but they steal attention and make conversation harder. A quiet cafe, a cozy lounge, or even a scenic walk gives both of you room to breathe. It's about creating a calm environment where connection can happen naturally. When you greet her, confidence shows more in your posture than your words. Keep your shoulders relaxed, stance open, and smile genuinely. Look into her eyes for a moment, but don't stare. Let your expression say you're happy she's here, without pressure. The first words are crucial. Skip the generic, "Hi, how are you?" Instead, comment on something real and immediate. "I love this cafe's vibe. Have you been here before?" Or, "That's an interesting jacket, you've got style." Simple observations show attention to detail and make her feel noticed. Listening is your secret weapon. Don't just wait for your turn to speak. Nod, respond naturally, and repeat small points she says. This subtle acknowledgement tells her you value what she shares. Women pick up on it instantly. It signals respect and genuine interest. Small gestures matter. Holding the door, offering a seat, or simply guiding her through the space without hovering creates subconscious ease. These actions say, "I care about your comfort," without overthinking it. Finally, don't rush. Silence isn't awkward if you handle it with calm. Pauses give both of you space to reflect and respond thoughtfully. It's in these quiet moments that real connection begins. By the time you're seated, the atmosphere should feel natural, relaxed, and inviting. She should feel like being here with you is effortless, not forced. Once the initial nerves settle, your focus shifts to comfort and trust. Attraction grows faster when she feels safe and understood, and the way you handle conversation plays a huge role in that. Start with questions that invite stories, not one-word answers. Instead of asking, "Do you like your job?" try, "What's the most interesting thing that happened at work this week?" Stories reveal personality, humor, and perspective in a way casual questions can't. Share a little about yourself, but keep it balanced. Too much self-focus can feel heavy. Too little makes you seem distant. A hint of vulnerability works wonders. Talk about small failures, funny mistakes, or challenges you overcame. It signals authenticity and shows you're relatable, not trying to play a perfect character. Watch her cues closely. If she's leaning forward, laughing, or making gestures that show engagement, she's comfortable. If she seems reserved, give her space. Let her open up at her own pace. Comfort is about timing as much as words. Body language reinforces trust. Sit slightly angled instead of directly across from her. It feels less confrontational. Lightly mirror her gestures, like sipping your drink after she does, but naturally. Subtle synchronization makes her feel a subconscious connection without realizing why. Humor is another tool for comfort. Don't force jokes. Instead, laugh at shared observations, tease lightly in a playful way, or comment on something situational. Shared laughter creates a bond that words alone cannot achieve. Lastly, avoid overthinking everything you say. The goal isn't to impress, it's to connect. When she senses you're relaxed and genuinely interested in her as a person, trust builds naturally. By the end of this part of the date, she should feel she can be herself around you without judgment, without pretending. By now, the initial comfort is established. She feels safe, relaxed, and genuinely heard. The next step is sparking interest, the subtle tension that makes her curious about you. That makes her lean in a little closer, smile a little longer, and wonder what you'll say next. This isn't about trying too hard. It's about letting your personality shine while keeping her engaged mentally and emotionally. Start with stories, not facts. Facts are boring. I went to the office today isn't memorable, but a story that combines humor, adventure, or curiosity can stick. For example, I was at the coffee shop last week, and this guy walks in wearing a full suit, except he had one sneaker on. I swear, he looked like he lost a bet, but the way he carried himself, he owned it. Made me laugh for 5 minutes straight. Stories like these show that you notice details, that you have humor, and that you can turn everyday experiences into memorable moments. Use small, playful teasing, but never mean-spirited. For example, if she mentions she loves a certain coffee, you could say with a smile, "So you're a latte person? Interesting. I'm a cappuccino loyalist. Think you can handle that?" Light teasing creates a spark because it introduces a small challenge. She's not being attacked, she's being engaged in a playful mental game. Challenges in conversation are another subtle way to increase interest. You can gently disagree or offer a different perspective. This isn't about arguing. It's about making her think, react, and show a glimpse of her personality. For example, "You really think pineapple belongs on pizza?" I'm not sure I can respect that. Convince me. Notice how this invites debate without hostility. She has a reason to explain, to laugh, or to defend her opinion. That interaction builds connection because it shows that her ideas matter and that you're not afraid of a little difference. Timing and packing are essential. Attraction grows in moments of unpredictability. If every answer is predictable, every joke rehearsed, every story polished, the conversation loses energy. Mix in spontaneous questions. If you could instantly learn any skill right now, what would it be? Or what's the weirdest thing you've ever done just for fun? Watch her reactions closely. If she leans forward, laughs, or tilts her head while listening, she's engaged. If she shifts away or gives short responses, slow down. Don't push. The key is making her curious without overwhelming her. Body language complements this verbal interaction. Slight movements, like leaning in when telling a story, or using hand gestures naturally, draw her attention. When she mirrors your posture subtly, it's a sign of subconscious connection. These small physical cues reinforce the mental spark. Play with contrast in your conversation. Shift between light and deep topics. Share a funny story, then ask her a reflective question. "I tried a salsa class last week and nearly knocked over the instructor. It was hilarious. What's the last thing you tried that scared you a little, but felt amazing afterward?" This rhythm keeps the interaction dynamic. She experiences humor, curiosity, and emotional depth all in one sitting. You're not just chatting, You're taking her on a mini journey through your personality and encouraging her to reveal hers. Flirting subtly is powerful here. Flirting isn't about hitting on her aggressively. It's about creating a playful, magnetic energy. Compliment her in a way that feels unique and specific. You have this energy when you talk about things you love. It's contagious. Makes me want to hear more. Notice the difference from a generic, "You're beautiful." This compliment shows attention, observation, and emotional engagement. Stories from your life that show competence, adventure, or curiosity also build interest. For example, last month, I randomly decided to go hiking at night with just a headlamp. It was pitch dark, and at one point, I swear a fox stared at me like I was an intruder in its world. Totally terrifying, totally exhilarating. She now sees you as someone who takes risks, notices details, and experiences life fully. These stories make you memorable because they're not typical small talk material. Ask thought-provoking, what-if questions. They spark imagination and mental engagement. If you could live in any era of history for a month, which would you pick? Why? If you could master one skill overnight, what would it be? These questions invite her to open up creatively. They show that you're interested in her mind, not just her looks, and they subtly differentiate you from other first date experiences she's had. Use micro-flirtation cues, small smiles, teasing glances, and playful nudges of conversation. Watch how she responds. If she smiles back, matches your energy, or teases you in return, the attraction is building. These are signs she's engaged mentally and emotionally. Also, don't forget light storytelling that shows your social intelligence. For instance, I was at a networking event once, and instead of sticking with people I knew, I started talking to strangers. By the end of the night, I had 5 people laughing at my terrible jokes, and 1 person asking for my number. Social experiments like that teach you a lot about energy. You can feel when someone's genuinely interested or just being polite. This illustrates awareness, humor, and confidence without arrogance. She sees you as capable, interesting, and approachable at the same time. Keep her engaged by occasionally circling back to things she mentioned earlier. For example, earlier you mentioned you love painting. Did you ever finish that canvas you were working on? Referencing past conversation points shows attention to detail, which subconsciously tells her that she matters and that you're tuned in. This is extremely effective in making her feel valued. Another key is packing your own self-disclosure. Don't spill your entire life story too early. Reveal layers gradually. Humor first, personal anecdotes next, deeper insights later. This builds a rhythm of curiosity. She's asking herself, what's next? What will he say next? That natural intrigue keeps the date dynamic and engaging. Finally, end this phase of the date with a small story or observation that leaves her smiling or laughing. Something light, memorable, and playful. For example, I read somewhere that people who talk with hand gestures are more likely to be persuasive. So, if I'm gesturing too much right now, blame science, not me. It's simple, funny, and creates a shared moment of connection. She leaves this part of the date thinking, wow, that was fun, and he's different from anyone I've met in a while. As the date winds down, the way you finish sets the lasting impression. This is your chance to leave her feeling excited, appreciated, and curious about what comes next. First, express genuine gratitude. A simple, sincere line works best. I had such a good time tonight. I really enjoyed talking with you. Mention something specific from the date. It shows attention to detail and thoughtfulness. That story you told about your trip to Italy had me laughing for a long time. I'm glad you shared it. Avoid dragging the ending or creating awkward pauses. A smooth closure is subtle and confident. Stand up with her. Offer a friendly gesture, a light touch on the shoulder, or a handshake if that feels natural. The goal is warmth, not intensity. If the date went well, plant a casual hint about seeing her again. Don't overcommit, but make it intriguing. You mentioned that cafe you love. I'd love to check it out with you sometime. This gives her an idea that there could be a next meeting without pressure. It leaves her curious and eager. Pay attention to your body language one last time. Keep your posture relaxed, smile warmly, and maintain natural eye contact. These cues reinforce the connection you've built throughout the evening. After parting ways, reflect briefly. Think about the moments that worked, the things she laughed at, and how she responded to your stories.